let's talk about Luke Moga, the 2024 quarterback out of Phoenix, Arizona, Sunnyslope High School. What's the update with Moga? I mean, if you haven't heard about Moga by now, you probably don't have a Twitter account. I'm just kidding. But no, for real, this is a guy that has really seen his recruitment explode since the start of the new year. He's definitely emerged as one of the biggest names on the national scale for the quarterback position. And he's not really rated super highly. 247 Sports Composite has him as a 3-star, 0.8759, number 582 player in the country, number 33 quarterback, and number 12 prospect in Arizona. He stands at 25 reported scholarship offers, and he's 6'2", 190 pounds. So why are we talking about Luke Moga? It's because he's emerged as a major quarterback target for Will Stein and this Oregon staff here in 2024. And he, like I was kind of saying, his stock was taken off on the recruiting trail. He was getting offers from all across the country. He was taking visits, everywhere, Miami, Oregon, BYU as well, just to name a few. But the significant update is that today, Tuesday, April 11th, he announced his commitment date. Luke Moga will make his college commitment on April 28th, and he will choose from what looks like a final 6 in this graphic that he tweeted, final 6 of Oregon, Miami, TCU, BYU, Michigan State, and the in-state Arizona State Sun Devils. So, this is a guy who spoke very highly of Oregon previously, when he made it out to Oregon and was able to take those trips and meet the staff. But I was able to talk to Moga in February and kind of just get some quotes on where he is with things. And he says that Dan Lanning's a super down-to-earth dude, and he appreciates that, saying that Lanning has a calm swagger to him, which is cool. Let's see what else. He was saying that, Coach Stein just being there a few weeks is awesome. He's really fitting in well, and I think that that's a place I could see myself at, and his success at UTSA will definitely translate over to Oregon. So we know that this is a guy that Oregon made a good impression on, and that visit obviously went well. And then what's also interesting and worth noting here with Luke Moga, he told me that he's going to be visiting Oregon on April 22nd. So that was, I think, earlier this past week. So maybe things have changed. So last week, I guess that would be. So maybe things have changed since then, but it's looking like we're going to operate off of that because that's what, he told me the most recent communication that I have with him. He's going to be able to come back out to Oregon on April 22nd, and then his commitment date comes that next week on April 28th. So I think, with all of that, it's definitely looking like, a commitment to Oregon wouldn't come as a massive surprise. A couple predictions have come in now for Moga to end up at Oregon. Justin Hopkins of Scoop Duck had one, and then Steve Wiltfong placed his prediction to Oregon this morning on Tuesday, with Moga making that announcement of his commitment date. So you kind of read between the tea leaves, and you can see that Oregon's looking like they're in a pretty good spot here for the Arizona passer. And I think another thing that's interesting with this timing, not only with the visit, but with the commitment date. Commitment date of April 28th, and Oregon's spring game is on April 29th. So, I'm kind of just, thinking about the scenarios here, and just think if they're able to get a commitment, if Oregon's able to get a commitment from Moga the day before the spring game, and then you have the spring game, your marquee recruiting event of the year, tons of talent, so many 5-stars on campus. If you can get that commitment, you can parlay that into some serious momentum. And I said this when Aaron Flowers committed last week. I feel like Oregon isn't far off from being on a big string of commitments here in the 2024 class. And I listed some guys that I've felt very good about Oregon's chances with over on Ducks Digest in my next 5 to commit story. I also just realized that I said Luka Moga in my ticker, so I definitely need to change that. That's embarrassing. But at least I realized it now. Luke Moga, sorry about that. But yeah, just think about it. If Oregon's able to get a commitment from Luke Moga right before the spring game, that definitely bodes well for them on the recruiting trail. You can get your quarterback, all taken care of in the 2024 class, and then you can use him, not use him, but, you can use that commitment to parlay that into momentum. And, he's kind of the face of the class. You have, receivers that are already on board. You want to get some offensive linemen to play along with Fox Crater, a running back, and it just makes things easier for a coaching staff if you have that quarterback position taken care of. So I'm trying to think if there's any other notes that I want to add on Luke Moga. I mean, he's a super athletic quarterback. I think he runs a sub 11 in the 100 meters. I almost said the 100-yard dash, but I think he runs sub 11 in the 100 meters, which is awesome. I mean, anytime you're talking about high school track, if a guy can run under 11 in the 100, you're looking at some pretty solid speed. Really athletic guy, has really solid junior tape over in Arizona. And, Arizona is an interesting state because I think it's one that's getting more respect gradually each year. And, you had a couple guys that you got from Arizona in the 23 class, most notably Cole Martin, Michael Gardner, Amari Washington. And then you have a good number of connections to the state of Arizona. I talked about a couple of those guys on the roster. You also have Kyler Casper, who you signed out of Arizona. And then, a couple of various connections to the state on staff, in the recruiting department, in the coaching department. And you lose Jordan Somerville to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was an Arizona native on the staff. He was the assistant quarterbacks coach. So I know that he played a role in Oregon's recruitment of Moga, but you got to just keep the ball rolling. Life goes on. So this could be really good news for Oregon in the 2024 recruiting class if they're able to ultimately get a commitment from Luke Moga. I'm not at the point right now of making a prediction, but I am feeling pretty solid about where Oregon stands here, given the timeline. What he said about Oregon and where Oregon ultimately wants to go. And how they kind of set this one up geographically. I think that they're in an awesome spot with Luke Moga. It just seems like more and more signs are making it apparent that Luke Moga is Oregon's guy in the 2024 recruiting class. So we'll have to keep following this one. Maybe we can talk to him before or after that trip to Eugene, but Luke Moga is a major name to watch for Oregon recruiting in the 2024 class.